I'm CK. Tonight we've got another kit from Gikfun. I've had pretty good luck with their kits. This is an electronic game. We'll put it together, see if we can learn anything, see if it's a good kit, and see if it's fun to play with in the end. And I hope you enjoy the video. Here's the box. Gikfun electronic game ... learning project EK 1987 and some Chinese characters. Made in China. It's got a little seal here and I don't have anything to cut that with. Gikfun.com. Gikfun. Give one kit, find you new life, making dreams, passing happiness. All good thoughts. Did I not cut that? Yes, I did. Okay. Pixel Game Boy. Little copyright infringement there, buddy. And that's HU1. And the part number on the front here, part number on the front here is EK 1987. So, don't know what that means. Don't know where they got this stuff from. And here, the rest of the box are the plastic panels and hardware to put this thing together. And we'll get this box ready for recycling. Get a parts tray over here and see what's in the bag. Have a tear tab? Nah. Doesn't have a tear tab, we'll just cut it open. Oops, forgot to move my garbage can back to the right place. Now, we'll take a look. Start with this. It's got a battery box to contain 4 AA batteries, so 6 volts of power. Here's some double-sided foam, seems like, some switches, some buttons, a USB connector. Wow. Old school USB, and it looks like, it might be a voltage regulator in there, and a capacitor, and some resistors, and another capacitor, and a microphone. Or no, that's not a microphone, that's a beeper, buzzer, beeper kind of thing. Let me go ahead and open this up, dump this out, because, I don't know, maybe that's the only loose electronics we're going to get to play with. These are some tactile buttons, click, click, click. Yeah, this is a little beeper, plus sign marked on the top, and some other button caps, and this is I can't read it. Why can I not read this? SB850. I'll have to look at that later. I'm not familiar with that part number. So there's not a lot in there. This may be a pretty rapid kit then. Here we have more stuff. We have the processor, and it's an SDC microcontroller, big one. One display, then a dot matrix panel. I mean, not really dot matrix, a matrix of LEDs. Wrapped up in some plastic wrap that I won't unwrap right yet. And we've got our USB to USB cable, probably to do something, I don't know what, since we're already powered by the AAAs. Maybe you can play along with your friend if you both build it. Here's the circuit board, and yeah, it's gonna be a pretty quick kit. Okay, this is not a major endeavor. Let me get my pointy thing. So matrix LEDs, switches, directional switches, switch 4 for something, who knows what that's for, speaker there, 1K resistor, switch, USB, the digital display, and the big old microcontroller, which is going to have a 10 microfarad cap underneath it, and a 104 decoupling cap also underneath it. I wonder what that 10 micro is for. On the back, connections for the battery terminals, or battery wires, This solder pad is a little worn away. That's interesting. Though things are through-hole plated, I think. Yeah, they're through-hole plated, so that little wear is not going to be a problem. And yeah, that's an 8550. That is a transistor. So it looks like we're only going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 things on ourselves. So not a huge amount of assembly, but the case will probably be a pain to put together. And here is game instructions in Chinese and in English. Oh, so you can use, okay, so this is so you can run it from USB power also if you don't want to do batteries, which I probably won't put batteries in it. After power on, turn the switch on, plus left or right to select the games. The games are Tetris, Greedy Snake, Racing, and Raisden. I think they mean Raiden, but they're spelling it R-S-A-I-D-E-N. And then, yeah, it is Raiden. They spelled it correctly down here. And it's got screen brightness adjustment and sound control. Okay. And here is the parts list. Schematic, which again is not very much since everything's being driven by the STC microcontroller. You're not going to learn a lot from this kit because everything's in the controller, but it'll be fun. It would be a good starter soldering kit, first soldering kit for some youngster, and then that youngster has a little game to play in the end. So that's it. I'll get the soldering iron heated up and we'll put this thing together. Probably won't take very long, as I say. While the cameras were off, I took the protective film off the case pieces because nobody needs to see me peel paper off acrylic. Now we're going to go into this deeply complicated electronics. First we'll put the resistor on. This is going to be about the shortest resistor time we're ever going to have. I mean, can't go much shorter than 1, can we? See how this board takes solder? Oh, pretty well. Solder holes are a little big. Let's see how much of that flowed through. A lot flowed through. I mean, I don't mind that. It's just more than usual. Now we're going to crank through all this. So the next thing is to put the electrolytic cap on, and we're going to have it lie down. Now the long lead goes in the square hole, solder pad marked with a plus sign for positive. And we'll just put it in there and then lay it down. Be good. And we'll find that little ceramic disc cap. 104, 1/10 of a microfarad. Decoupling cap, smooths power out, gets rid of some inductance. Most ICs that you'll install will have a 104 or 103, usually 104s, right near them. I am not soldering those yet, and I'm not clipping that lead off because I'll just wait until we've got a number of things to do. Actually, I will do these right now because I don't think we have any other through hole that I have to clip. So we'll get these taken care of. Yeah, these component leg holes are a little bigger than usual. These resistor leads in here. I had to use some resistor leads as a jumper in a kit the other day. so have to replenish my supply. There's the big IC socket. It's got a little notch in it right here, and there's a notch on the board, so we'll make sure they match up. And we'll get all the pins in. With some of these 40-pin connectors, you got to be a little careful because one or two pins might be a little bent. Like I don't know if you can see that. There is one bent pin in there. So let me get my pokey thing and move that pin around. That's not going to work. Let me get in there and pull it out. Yeah, that one's been pushed out. You probably can't see that, but the pin is pushed up. So let me shove that back down in there. There we go. Now we can put it on, and again, not forgetting the notch. Oops, and look at that. That came right back. Another pin came up. That's a different pin this time. Huh. This is I'll use the word inexpensive socket. Oops, and I bent that. We'll have to be careful that when I insert the IC, I make sure none of the pins get bent going into those receptacles. Now, because that's all been that way, I'm going to look here and make sure all the pins went through, and they did. So I will hold the board down with 2 fingers and solder one pin there. Take a look. Everything looks good. And that is that socket installed. Now we're going to put the USB connector on, and it's got 4 pins and some support clamp legs here, though as the instructions tell you, we're only going to be soldering the 2 outside pins because that's where our DC power is brought in. The 2 inside pins are the data pins for USB, and we're not using any data for this. We're just using the USB connector as a power supply. I'm going to put a lot of solder on those support legs because that's where you'll be stressing the most as you insert and remove the USB power connector. Now we'll put the little speaker, for lack of a better term, it's really just a buzzer. That leg is bent a little bit. Straighten it out. And the positive is very clearly marked. Positive's clearly marked on the circuit board also. So we'll put that on. Flip the board over again. And I'm not making sure it's flat right now. I'm just going to get it soldered in place and lift it back up. It's not flat, so I'll press on it with my index finger while I reheat that solder point and let it cool, and it's all flat now. Now we're going to put all the buttons on. Again, these are not square, they're rectangular, so they're it's pretty hard to get them in incorrectly, though you can. So if you think you're forcing it, take a little breath and say, if I'm forcing it in, I may be putting it in the wrong way. There's all the push buttons. And flip over to the other side. And now we're going to put the display on first. And as you can see, there are dots under to the lower right of each digit, and that's what we want to match up as we mount this. Oh, that pin is really twisted. Dude. There we go. I'm just going to tack one of these legs right now. Again, double checking it's flat. There we go. You might have heard it click as I pressed on it. Now we'll put the dot matrix displays on. And I don't know how these go. What does it say? Oh, we want the part number facing down. Again, I'm just holding these little fellas in place right now, and then I'll do one big soldering run once I get all of these down. Now, what did I miss? Oh, I didn't put the switch on. Where does it say put the switch? Where does it say put the switch on? It doesn't say put the switch on. So don't forget to put the on-off switch on, which goes over here. Because if you don't put the on-off switch on, you're going to be sad. Actually, I'm going to wait till I solder all these other little fellas. Actually, I'm not going to. We've got two more things to put on, so I'm going to go ahead and solder all these bits first. They didn't mention either of them, because we've got the switch and the transistor to put on, and the instructions do not mention putting the switch or the transistor in. So make sure you put the switch and transistor in. Now I'm going to solder all these. And I am going to trim these long display pins. The matrix pins are flush enough that I don't worry about them. Now again, we'll do the bits that they don't mention. We have our transistor, which goes over here in Q1, and it's got a flat side, and that flat side will go to the flat side of the printing on the circuit board. And then we put the button in. Oops, just dropped my solder. And now the last thing that the instruction manual or instruction sheet does say is the battery box. And even though I'm not going to use it, I'll go ahead and put it on. So we've got a plus pad and a minus pad right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take solder and put a little pool of solder on both pads. And I'll take the red wire. I think we want to feed that through. I can't see. No, we don't want to feed it through. Okay. So I'm going to reheat that solder pad and put the wire in it and let the solder cool, and it's in there tightly. Same with this one. Just make sure you let the solder cool, or else you'll be saying, "Oh no, it slipped away on me. I moved and it jumped out." I have done that more times than I can remember. Now we will start putting the case parts together. Oh, I see. Huh, interesting. So I set this aside. We're going to start with the back plate, and the back plate has a big hole in it because that's where the battery box is, so there's no lid for the battery box, so we are just able to change batteries anytime we want because they're kind of hanging out the back. Tell you what, I'm going to recycle the overhead, the cameras, because they are probably going to run out of time in a second here. Okay, I'll dump my hardware bag here. And we're going to take the little, you should have 3 of these. Oh, we only have 3 of these. Okay. Oh, they also did not say when to put the button caps on. I'll go ahead and put these on before we put the top on, because once we put the top on, we won't be able to get the button caps on, so they should have mentioned that. Again, the kit is fine, but the instructions need a little bit of work. And the side pieces are going to jump off as I push these button caps on, so I'll put them back on in just a minute. There's all the side pieces and the button caps on. All good. Now we'll take the front piece, get all the buttons through the holes. Hopefully it's machined well enough that they fit. Well, they fit, but they're kind of, they don't pop up very high, do they? They're almost below the surface of the front panel. Interesting. And now we'll just put a bunch of screws and nuts in the corners, 4 of them. And that, my loyal viewers, is that. Very quick build, of course, and as you can see, we ended up with an extra long screw, an extra short screw, an extra big M3 nut, an extra M2 nut. Which is never a bad thing to have extra parts. I just put them in the old extra parts bin. Use them when I need them. Now I'm going to plug this little fella in. First I'm going to turn this overhead light off. Now I'm plugging USB power in again. I'm not going to put the batteries in, but you certainly could. Swing this around and plug that in. Wrong way around, of course. And that's the wrong way around too. There we go. Now, battery on, power switch on. and nothing is happening. And what's going on there, little guys? I'm going to try it with batteries. Okay, with batteries on, does that work better? There we go. For some reason the USB didn't work. I don't understand why. So now press the left and right buttons to select the game. That's game 2, it's game 3, it's game 4. We'll go with game 1, which is Tetris. And then we push this button to play. Oh, why did it do that? I don't know. I'm not, there we go. 3, 2, 1. Press that. Okay. Where's the rotate button? There it is. Great music going along with this, isn't it? It plays okay. At least I can hold down to transition all the way down. Come on, I'm gonna make a bad move here just to get something going, see how it clears a line. Oh, that's fine. It's kind of an interesting, whoever programmed this hasn't played a lot of Tetris. Okay, so that's what we want to do. At the end of a game, press the up key to return the game selection interface. Up key. And the number that I'm seeing a 2 is my score. Press the up key. Well, I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on because pressing the up key did not seem to work. Let's try another game because it's pretty exciting. So this is Greedy Snake. So we can change the snake's direction. Ooh, got 1. And the score went up to 1. Got 2. Oops, missed the button. I'm going to see if I can... It's not quite long enough for me to have it eat itself yet. But I'm going to try it. Go down, go down. There. Okay, that's what happens when you crash into yourself. Okay. Score of 4. I'll try game 3, which is racing. Racing. The left and right keys for the racing movement to determine the key for acceleration. What? Okay, we're racing. Yep. Wrong button. See, I'm dodging these cars. It's pretty exciting, isn't it? There we go. Now we'll try Raiden. Left and right keys for motion. Come on, guy. I'm done with that. Oh, that's the fire button. That's a pretty good effect. They did a good job with that. Okay. Now, okay, the other, I'm going to quit and or power down and restart it again, because we've got two other things. 1, 2, 3, 4 are the games. Then this is screen brightness adjust. So that makes the screen, as you can see, it's dimming quite a bit. And then this is volume. Oh, that's just simply on, off. Okay, so that's what we got. Again, a pretty straightforward build. I have no idea why the USB power is not powering it. It certainly should. I'm going to pull the batteries back out, because these are my rechargeables that I use in the shop, so I don't waste a lot of batteries. Did I unplug this for some reason? Did this come unplugged? No, because that's charging still. I don't know. Let me plug it in just one more time before we call the video a day. Up there. USB worked that time. I guess it was just taking a nap before. So that's it. Again, not much soldering. Not much really to learn in this, because everything is inside the STC microchip that's doing everything interesting. You can see on the schematic that the transistor is really just coming from, it's the noisemaker control, so the STC chip is toggling the gate on the transistor, actually the base on the transistor, and that's toggling the speaker to make the beeps and bloops you are hearing. So that's not very interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but it's not very complex. So that's it. An okay little kit, and at least somebody has something to do once they're done. Might be a great intro kit to say, hey, youngster, see if you like soldering, see if you enjoy this, and if you do, you have a little something, and if you don't, you still have a little something. So not a bad kit. And I hope you enjoyed the video.